very excited to have an opportunity to play again. Another game, another opportunity to get better and demonstrate what the 2026 Syracuse Orange can do on the field. So I'm looking forward to it.
Gary, it's not a carbon copy of the Maryland team you played in the Final Four, if anything, maybe at players, but what are the big lessons you take from the guy because playing faster again?
We definitely got to execute at a much higher level. After reviewing last year's game again, we just made way too many mistakes, too many errors. Didn't clear the ball well, didn't shoot well, didn't do a lot of things. So hopefully we can execute at a much higher level today.
Is Peyton Anderson available for this game?
Peyton Anderson will be available.
What makes John Tillman's team so successful to play against? So difficult to play against is what I'm looking for.
They're just so consistent. They're not going to do anything unique or different, but what they're going to do is execute at the highest level. A very disciplined team. They possess the ball. They focus on long possessions, and they play an execution game, who can execute at a higher rate with as few possessions as possible, and that's kind of the game.
Obviously, last week was a lot about fixing up the clear. Is there any specific areas this week you guys are Gary?
We're just focusing on everything. It's a new opponent, new opportunities, so we got to make adjustments, and we've kind of done that, and we're ready to make a game plan and move forward.
With the new Faceoff rule that was obviously in effect the last couple of years, how difficult is it to go up against, two guys on Maryland, especially Henry Dodge and their other guy? How difficult is that to kind of kill plan calls for you guys?
I don't think it's that difficult. We got a couple guys, and Drew Angelo got on the scoreboard as our number 2 Faceoff guy last game. He went over 50%. He just hasn't had very many reps, and it's been difficult for him to get in the groove when you're a clear number 2 guy. So he can compete, and I think I do like the 2 guys that we do have with him and Johnny Mullen, and we'll see how it goes come Friday.
There's been times they put a short stick on Finn, a couple of long curves, field. Is that something you anticipate happening again? Then you have to be ready for?
Yeah. Coach March is dialing up an offensive scheme that I think will adjust to the looks that we've seen in the past from Maryland and some of the strategies they use. Dub and pull in our midfield and shorting some attacks. So we'll be ready for all of that. So we're going to be well prepared and dialed in for the game.
Will Showers had a lot of success going up against Joey. What do you want to see from Joey on Friday in terms of winning that matchup?
For me, it's always what I tell Joey is don't get too focused on your matchup. More importantly, move your feet off the ball and provide opportunities for your defender to make some mistakes without even trying to dodge them. So, he's matured quite a bit. I think we're going to see a much better version of Joey in this game, and I'm excited to see what he can do.
What does the preparation look like for this game as compared to, versus the 2 times you faced him last year versus, their 1 game this year?
It's a normal kind of week of prep for us. 1 day short of a full week, and it's given us time to review, and it's given us time to put in different scenarios that allow us to hopefully compete at the highest level.
Do you have a feel for, now that you have Peyton back, whether you would slide Mike back up to midfield? And
we'll make adjustments. We have a few different ideas of what the lineup should look like, and like I said, Coach March has a few different things up his sleeve, and he's going to bring it all to Friday, and you'll see it then.
How important is this game to you guys? I understand it's just 1 game at the beginning of the year, but to kind of get that monkey off your back, can you look at it that way, or is that just for us in the media, so to say?
This game's the next game, and I think that makes it the most important game of the year. It's with our schedule that we have, it's certainly, I don't think, a must-win game, but the next game's always a must-win game for us. So our guys are super excited, and they want to play well, and they want to come out on top. So they're putting in the work now that's needed, and hopefully we execute at a higher level than Maryland come Friday.
Wyatt's a guy that has been a standout the first 2 games. Just what is it about him that you think has allowed him to, have this fast start?
I think he's incredibly fast, and that's allowing him to get a step and get his hands free on his shots. And he's a very good shooter, and he's shot at a really high level so far, and made some great plays. So he's doing a great job for us, and we kind of count on all of our guys to do that. And so far we've had multiple scores, and everybody's had an opportunity to demonstrate they can play some good lacrosse. So everybody's important.
A defensive unit that's only given up 8 goals in 2 games.
Not very excited.
They've been surprised to you, or you knew you had this coming in, and what do they got to do to be successful on Friday?
Coach O on the DN, he consistently tracks where we're at and how the defense does, and they've hit some numbers. I think it's the lowest goals that St. Joe's has scored since 2012. It's fewest goals that BU scored in a couple years. So he's just always putting up benchmarks for every game, and they try and compete and reach those goals. And so far so good. We're I think we're in the top 5 in defense right now, 2 games in. So we got a long road ahead.
How do you stay patient against, I guess, Maryland teams in terms of the fact they like to have the elongated possessions? They're very, again, patient. How do you emphasize, patience to your team?
Well, we've maybe watched some of our games. We've been, controlling the ball pretty well. We've had a lot of good long possessions, so we practiced, the possession game a little bit up till now, so we're prepared for it. And there'll be times when we'll want to push the ball and play fast, and there'll be times when we'll want to sit on it and take some time off the clock and not give the ball back to Maryland. So you're going to see, I think, a nice mix of that.
We were talking a little bit last week about the Lacrosse events earlier in the year. It just kind of feels like one Friday with 2 number 1 teams coming into the Dell. Feels like
it would be great to have an amazing turnout. I hope the fans get out and come visit. It's going to be some great lacrosse in the dome, and I can't wait for it.
2 more questions.
How do you keep the guys, level-headed throughout the moment? Obviously, there's the bad taste from last year, and then playing against the number 1 team Friday. How do you keep the level-headed?
We're focused on the preparation, and we still continue to focus on what you do, today, day by day. How you practice, how you execute in that practice, and I think that's really the key. Is not to look ahead to game day. It's to look ahead to today and what I need to get done to be the best version of myself and as a player, and the team's doing that as a whole.
That final question.
Maryland's added a lot of impact newcomers through the offseason. It's an especially game, one of them with 5 goals, 6 points in the first game. What have you kind of noticed about the difference between this year's Maryland team compared to the Maryland team that you guys played in the Final Four?
Well, you really only see one game, we haven't seen a whole lot. So we definitely have seen that their attack is different, and they're scoring a lot of goals. So, hopefully we can do something about that. And Coach O, I know, has got that in mind when he's scheming the defense, and hopefully we'll do a good job at holding those guys and limiting their numbers.